my personal LinkedIn said, welcome. Glad to have you. This is a short lunchtime learning blast to take about 10 to 12 minutes, kind of break up the day, give you some thoughts, something to nosh on, something to chew on as we get ready for the upcoming year. So let me use I've got like 4 huge monitors in here. So I'm trying to see everything. Let's see, let's turn that on. Let's turn that off. Look at this. Let's go to this. Oh, look at that. I love when it works. All right. So today's topic, everybody, is going to be called 5 ways to inspire employees. 5 ways to inspire employees. 2023, we're going into the post-pandemic era, and we've got a lot of challenges. We've got some remote workers. We've got some hybrid workers. We've got some people back in the office full time. Hopefully we don't have a lot of people who are still complaining about their work-life balance, but we've got some things we've got to look at. And as we re-enter the year, a new year, as supervisors and managers, let's go ahead and just share some ideas, again, that might help you as you're managing people moving forward over the next 365 days and beyond. So let me see if I can get these rolling here. All right, look at that. Okay, so a couple quick things. As always, Business 101. Let me go ahead and make myself smaller and make this bigger so that you all can see a little better. Let's see. Whoop, there I go. Whoop. Good to have that sound effect. Whoop, there we go. As y'all know, the first thing is leadership. Now, when I say leadership, I mean management or frontline supervisors. Does not matter. If you manage people, I don't care if you're at the CEO level, the director level, the frontline leader, manager, middle manager, you're responsible for all of this. So that's who I define as leadership. You got great leaders in place, great managers. They take care of the employees. So they're motivating and inspiring, whether the employee is sitting at their desk, up and around, in a theme park, at a community college, in a healthcare organization, wherever it is. They're the ones that are closest to the customers. They're the ones that are the brand and the faces and doing all of the work. Not to say leadership doesn't do work, but you know what I'm talking about. The customers have basic wants and needs. The employees take care of the customers. Leadership takes care of the employees. Employees take care of the customers. And it's not hard. Most of the time, I mean, the things we do to mess up customer service and customer experience, we can fix those things really easily if you've got good leadership taking care of the employees. And of course, the customers, they come back again and again. And of course, you have successful business results, which mean, of course, that people are going to be your loyal ambassadors. They're going to come back over and over and over. And there's my buddy Keith. And so I'm glad you're watching, buddy. Inspire me. I'll do what I can, buddy. You inspire me on a daily basis with what you're accomplishing. So I do appreciate you being on and taking a few minutes. So here we go. Everybody loves numbers, so let's just make it 5. Okay, 5 for 2023. And these are pretty simple ones. Don't assume, be flexible, allow opinions, provide training, and recognize the value that your employees bring each and every day. So again, let's just go into these. Some of these you may agree with, some of these you may disagree. These are things that I think works. I'm not just a speaker / trainer. I'm a manager also. I manage a team. I have 5 direct reports. That's good leadership. I don't even know how many people report to me. I've got 4 or 5 direct reports. So I've got to do these things. I'm not just out there trying to help you get better. I'm also talking to myself a lot, making sure I can get some of these things done. So the first one is pretty simple. Don't assume. You all know what the standard answer is when people say that they assume. But here's what I mean by this. Let's start asking questions of our employees. Let's start at the beginning of the year. Some of you may do annual reviews at the end of the year. Some may do performance planning at the beginning of the year. And a lot of times we'll have those meetings and say things like, the company wants to do this, and I want you to do this, and I need you to accomplish this and this. Well, let's ask them some questions if you really want to inspire them. Hey, do you know how to use this new system? Do you know what's expected of you? Hey, what do you need? Do you need more resource? Do you need more time? Do I have too much on your plate? Do you have some time management issues? I wouldn't word it that way, but try to figure out, what are the roadblocks? That's a big thing. What are the roadblocks? We give our employees all this work to do, and then they say simple things like, well, you didn't give me the code to the copier. These restrooms are locked, so I've got to go down 2 floors to go to the restroom. My parking space is 30 minutes away with traffic because you all shut this down. I'm remote, but I can never log in. You tell me to answer the phone at home on my remote day, but my app on my phone so you got all these things. Don't just assume that as leaders, when we tell them to do something, because a lot of employees are just going to say yes and then try and figure it out on their own. You want to inspire them? What are the roadblocks? How can I assist? How can I get better? How can I do things for you to help you accomplish your goals this year? So don't assume that when you give a task to an employee and they sort of look and go, okay, that it's going to go great. I would say ask some of these questions. The second thing I want to encourage you to do is be flexible. We've got to be flexible this year. And this is tough. This is really tough because depending on your age, depending on who you're leading, depending on your I call them job families, job roles, because a lot of times we do a lot of work with people in public safety. Okay. So you got police and fire, very paramilitary, very hierarchical, very much, this is the way that it needs to be. So when you're talking about being flexible, part of them always push back with me and say, you don't understand. This is the way we do it. It's got to be a chain of command type of thing. And I get that. I never want to dismiss a corporate culture that works for you. We just need to, if you've got some gray area in different organizations, can you be a little more flexible? Can you be a little more flexible on work hours? Can you be a little more flexible on locations, style of work? Again, we all did this over the past 2 years. Hey, those of you who are working remote, great job. It's like you're here every day. Fantastic. We haven't missed a beat. And then a year later, we're like, great job. Now back in the office. We're like, well, if we did such a good job, why are we back? And then you have to sort of maneuver those waters, and kind of figure that. So what's the flexibility? And both sides have to do this. But again, the style of work, mental health. Again, there's a lot going on right now across the country, across the world. We don't know what's going to happen in healthcare and things like that. So do people need more time to think, to process, to relax, all of that? And I put work-life balance on here, but I mean, some people don't like that term. It should be life-work balance. It should be balance. What I'm saying is this. I can sum this all up. If you are a leader and you want to inspire your employees and you are dogmatic that says work here is 8 a.m. to 4:30 with a 30-minute lunch at 12 and 2 15-minute breaks, and you never want to stray from that, can there be some flexibility? Now, again, I used to work at Walt Disney World. I understand shift work. I understand that, I'm sorry, I need body. I mean, we can't be flexible. We can't say, sure, come in when you want because there's guests coming in. The restaurant opens at this time. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I understand that there are some parameters that have to be met. I'm saying in those areas where there could be flexibility, but we've never wanted to address it. I would say that's how we can inspire our employees and hold them accountable. If we're going to go above and beyond and do some nice things for them and flex schedules, we've got to be flexible. The next one that I've got up here is allow opinions. Oh man, Pete, if I allow employee opinions, I won't get my own work done. Everyone's got one. Everyone's got an opinion, but here's the thing. Make sure that when you open it up to your employees and say, what's your thought? How do you think we ought to handle this situation? What would you do if you were the manager of because again, if we're trying to grow and do succession planning and build the next level, allow their opinions, but they've got to be relevant. They've got to be timely. They've got to be business focused. They've got to add value. They've got to have positive outcomes. They've got to be ethical. They got to fall within your rules and regulations. So, when they say things like, I think we ought to just only be open from 9 to 5. That's my opinion. Let's stop being open till 8. Well, no, we can't do that. We can't do that because we have customers. Our highest volume is from 5 to 8. What I think we need is to go to 4 10s instead of 5 8s on a schedule. Let's talk about that. What are your thoughts? So, we can allow opinions on directions, but here's my little caveat at the bottom here. See where it says no without never again? Here's what I mean by that. If you open yourself up to inspire your employees and say, I always want to hear your opinions, but then you've got to tell them, no, that's a bad idea, that'll never work, all that stuff. When you say that, they're going to go, well, never again. Well, you know what? You asked my opinion. I brought it to you. You mocked me. You rolled your eyes. You said, why'd you come up with that? So forget it then. No more opinions. So your goal as a leader is to get a skill set where you can learn through tone, words, body language, listening, emotional intelligence, to say no without having the employee never bring anything up again. Because that's what happens a lot. I told y'all I was an open door. I told y'all you'd come to me with anything, but every time they bring you stuff, you're like, yeah, that's not going to work. And keep trying. So how do you say no in a certain way? Work on that and see what you can do around that one. Then we got two more, don't we? Yeah, we got two more. Thanks for hanging with me. If you're joining us on this Lunchtime Learning Blast, whether live or recorded, I appreciate you being with, trying to be a good leader in 2023. I think that's awesome. Provide training. You want to inspire your employees, provide training. So, whoops, let's go back. Let's go back. Where are you at? Okay, here we go. You're getting to see all the, come on, you should know where the buttons are. All right. It's about a year old, this survey from McKinsey & Company, which was talking about people who quit back in April, talking about, hey, what's the number one reason people are quitting? Well, you'd think it'd be compensation. You think it would be leadership. And this study said it's lack of career development and advancement. So let's stop minimizing the value in learning and development, in employees wanting to get better, in employees saying, hey, can I go onto LinkedIn or the Personnel Board Facebook page for 20 minutes today and watch this free video that might help me be a better? No, you can't do that. Get back on the shelf. Get out there. Go into that thing. So again, as leaders, we have to allow the opportunity for people to do that because they're telling us that they want this learning and development. Pete, we don't have any money for conferences. Everybody wants to go to a conference. All they want to do is go to the beach or go to the mountains or go to New York. Okay. Conferences, yes. If you can afford it, if you have it in your budget, always a possibility. Doesn't have to be a national conference. It can be local. It can be remote. It can be these things you watch online. But I put plus on here, conferences plus or conferences and or conferences or. There's got to be a local professional organization for some of your employees, whether they're in finance, human resources, academia, healthcare, training and development. There's professional groups that meet aligned to those fields once a month, twice a month for lunches, $150 a year, and you get to go to 12 meetings and 12 lunches or whatever it is. Let them look for those, find those, and maybe guide them to those opportunities. YouTube videos don't cost anything, but you got to find them for them. You can tell them to go search, but you know how it is when you search on YouTube, all of a sudden you're watching a 15-minute documentary on how butter is made. So you might have to say, here's the links I want you to go watch. Here's books. Let's do a sort of lunch and learn reading club. We do a thing here where I work at the Personnel Board where we do lunch and learn documentaries, where we'll find some documentaries on Netflix that are around 60 minutes, maybe 65, and we'll invite everybody up. Bring your lunch. We'll watch it together. It could be about business. It could be about life. It could be about history. It could be about nature, as long as it's not too controversial. And it's just a way for people to learn and grow and network and talk. Leaders as trainers, if you are a manager leader, why can't you go to your training department or HR department and say, hey, I want to lead a 1-hour Spark Shop on Zoom. I'm really good at Zoom. Can I lead a 1-hour workshop on Zoom? Hey, I'm really good at gardening. Can I go lead a 1-hour session on gardening? Hey, it's summertime, time for the grill. Can I go tell people the best way to smoke a butt or ribs or something? So, and again, leaders can also do leadership topics, but you can humanize yourself by doing personal things. And all of a sudden, people are being learned. They count this as learning and development. There's TED Talks. LinkedIn Learning costs some, but don't forget our Personnel Board Facebook page. Okay, our Facebook page, we keep all these videos. Scroll all the way down. You'll find trainer talks and lunchtime learning blasts from the past year that might align with a topic that you want to get better at. So stuff is out there, y'all. And that's how you inspire employees is you just don't say, we don't have time for training. You say, no, training is working good. Training's awesome. And the last thing is, number 5 is recognize the value of your employees. And I'm not talking about employee of the month. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about thank yous. I'm talking about public or private, but specific. And I put old school, new school on here, y'all. Here's what I mean by that. I was doing a session for the city of Irondale here in town. We were doing a thing on performance management earlier this week. And I had a really good talk with somebody who was about my age, maybe a little bit older, talking about the struggles he has combining the way he was taught to recognize people to what's expected from employees today. And it really caused him some struggles, because what he was finding was he was told, come to work, a hard day's work for a hard day's pay, get it done, do it. And everyone now is coaching and telling him and leading him to go to people and say, hey, thank you for coming in today. Hey, thank you for not calling in sick. Hey, you did what I asked you to do, or what's part of your job. Thank you. He's like, why? Why do I have to thank people for the minimum expectations and things like that? And we had a nice little chat about it. And the reality is you don't have to. You don't have to. But if that is what drives and motivates your employees, if that's what keeps them coming to work, it's a buyer's market right now for employees. They sort of have the upper hand. They're the ones saying there's a million jobs out there. I can leave at any time. I can go somewhere else. And if a thank you is what they need to stay connected throughout the day, then by golly, I'm going to give them a specific, not a general, a specific thank you, which I found as interesting. Hey, my buddy Joseph, thanks for watching up in, I think it's New Jersey area. Do you have employees who say, hey, that's my lunchtime, and if you want me to watch that video, you have to pay me extra? Yeah, absolutely. We get this all the time. On the clock or off the clock? Am I going to do this or am I not? That just takes some transparency, Joseph, I think, and some coaching with them to talk about what the end result is. Okay. I'm not giving you more work. I am asking you to get better at what you do. So again, maybe I've got to go back to my be flexible thing, where you talk about, all right, you can have your full 60-minute lunch. And then after your 60-minute paid lunch, I'm going to give you 15 minutes on the clock to please go check this out and then kind of watch it. And again, may take some creative scheduling, but yeah, you're always going to have that. My other pushback, Joseph, will always be, if you've got an employee who's complaining about little things like that, I can't believe you want me to take 5 minutes and watch a video on my off time. Then we have some bigger problems. We have to talk about, and I understand FLSA, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble and all of that, but we got to have some good discussions about what you want to accomplish. And thank you, Joseph. I knew you were in Maryland. I knew it was Northeast, and you're like, Maryland's not the Northeast. And I'm sorry. Hey, thank you. Thanks, Frank, for being on here. You got some good pocket. Now, I love that. Stick it in your pocket. Maybe you can pull it out a little bit later on. So thank you all. So again, just big finish here. As you all know, don't assume, be a little flexible with them and with scheduling and all that kind of stuff. Allow for the opinions, but know how to say no so they keep coming back. Provide those learning and development opportunities and recognize the value of each and every employee. Don't give them a reason to go somewhere else. Don't give them a reason to start looking. There's this big thing now about exit interviews. Stop doing exit interviews and do stay, S-T-A-Y, stay interviews. Because stay interviews are when you have them before they leave. What do you need? Are you happy? What are your goals? We always ask those questions when people are on their way out. And we're like, well, if you would have told me that earlier, maybe I could have fixed some things and you could have stayed with me. Wouldn't have all this trouble. So this has been a lot of fun for me. I'm so glad you all, Keith, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Tell your friends, watch this on Personnel Board, Facebook Live. Oh, look at you, Keith. Great stuff as usual. I love this. Thank you all. Appreciate you. Let's have 2023 be a great year. And I look forward to connecting with you all again really, really soon. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.